Coach Dad. How many of you guys coach your own kid? That is a spectacular question. Been there, done that, a lot of years, all 4 of my kids. I guess there's 2 kind of coach parents, right? There's the one that...
I am too, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm the worst sideline parent you'll ever meet.
So I'll use you as this hand. Now there's the kind of parent that, you know, might let their kid get away with a little bit extra. They get to pitch or play shortstop, whichever one the kid prefers, bat cleanup or lead off, right? There's that parent, right? And then there's the other parent that is so hard on their kid and breaks them down and they never do anything right. And they look at video after the game, right? And they're always on them and they're coached 24/7. You can't be either one of those people, right? If you let them get away with everything, then they never learn responsibility and accountability. But at the same time, you can't be so hard on them that, you know, that they can't take care of you someday when you need them, right? You want to keep their relationship. So it's okay to be a little bit harder on them than average, because I can guarantee you that everybody in the stands thinks that your kid has an advantage because they're the coach's kid. So be a little bit tougher, but not so much that it's out of control. And share that with them, right? So before the season starts, have a conversation. Hey, is it okay if I coach you this year? Do you want Dad to coach? Do you want Mom to coach? And if they say no, we might have to back off. I coached my 3 older kids, and then my youngest son started getting in the league, and after his first year, I said, would you like Dad to coach you? And he said, well, Coach Louie is a really good coach. So I let him play for Coach Louie again. And a year later, during the offseason, he says, Dad, could you coach me next year? So now I knew he was ready, right? And I said, okay, but here's the deal. I might be a little hard on you. I'm going to hold you accountable, not let you get away with much, because if I let you get away with something, everybody else is going to think that they can get away with it too. And sometimes, son, I might even correct you for something that somebody else did. Can you deal with that? And he kind of felt like he was a double agent, right? So he said, yeah, I could do that. You could correct me for something somebody else does. So there's a game 3 or 4 or 5 years later. We had a rule. There's a ground ball and there's a runner on second base. You got to dive and knock it down, right? Keep it in the infield. So there's a ground ball up the middle. Nobody goes for it. And I got on my son. I said, Sean, you got to leave your feet. And he took his hat off and he scratched his head because it was clearly on the other side of the base. He had no chance. So after the inning is over, he comes over and he says, Dad, can I talk to you? We walk down the third base line. And he says, that was one of those times you were yelling at somebody else, right? And I says, yeah, I was yelling at Nathan, but Nathan's dad is crazy. But I got the point across to everybody that you got to dive and knock it down, right? So you can have some fun with it a little bit, but don't be so tough. And that was where the driveway rule started, right? I couldn't be Coach Dad 24/7, right? I had to turn it off. And, you know, you might put on a hat. Now, this is my coaching hat. Now I'm going to take it off, and this is my dad hat. Whether it's literally or metaphorically, right? Now I'm Dad. We're not going to talk about it unless you bring it up. And then if you do, we're going to talk through it, and we're going to talk about your effort and your execution, not your performance, I think. That might be a good guideline. But the dad part of it's way more important, right? So you got to wear both of those hats. You got to remember the life lessons that they're learning at the same time. And even during tough times, they're going to come away with some great life lessons. There might be times when you turn it over to your assistant coach, right? Go talk to him, right? Because I'm not going to deal with it right now. Something that worked. How many of you have sons and daughters? They're different, right? I coached my oldest son, came around with my next daughter, and I started to coach her like my son. And they're a little more emotional. So I recognized that, and here's what we came up with. I gave her a sign. When she fixed her ponytail or she fixed her helmet or her hat, that let me know I had gone a little bit too far, right? That let me know it was starting to get to her emotionally a little bit. Over the course of her 6'8", 9-year youth career, she might have used that twice. After she graduated college and she played college basketball, we talked about it, and she said, you know what, Daddy? That helped me be coached harder in college because I didn't want to be soft. I didn't want to go to the ponytail. So I listened a little bit more, and I listened to what you were saying instead of how you were saying it, right? And so, you know, she had a good college career because she was able to overcome that a little bit. But it gave her the safe, you know, out when I was getting too tough that, hey, Dad, knock it off. And, you know, like I said, she only used it a couple of times, and that was effective. Those are good questions. That's a tough one. Youth sports, Coach Dad, Coach Mom is about 95% of the room. Thanks for asking that for sure. Did I help you a little bit? A couple ideas? Good. Any other questions? So like Ellen said, positivecoach.org, workshops for coaches, board members, parents, athletes. Love to come and talk to you. At worst, keep track of what we do and who we're doing it for, right? And watch for us on TV and games and those kind of things. You'll see us make an impact with youth sports all around Southern California.
We have everybody take a little picture with Ray. I'm just going to have
picture.
stand up.
Here's what I want. The best effort, right? Everybody stand up for a second. We want kids to give their best effort. Here's what I want you to do. Let's see if you can reach as high as you can. Now I want you to reach a little bit higher. You shouldn't be able to reach higher. I told you to reach as high as you can to start with. Right? Okay, everybody up, reach for success.
All
Here
right.
we go.
Last one, cheer, bigger cheer.
The loudest cheer.
Let's let all our kids hear you.
Let's go, Dodgers!
1, 2, 3, go Dodgers. 1, 2, 3,
Go